Hi, I am Susan Bagans. I am an encourager, a scribe, and the mother of three hobbits. And today I wanted to come to you with a diddly squat. I know diddly squat about writing. Now, I am an author. I have released several books and novellas, and I've written a compilation of short stories that I've published. But I really know diddly squat about writing. So let me explain. In 2009 is when I first started to write. Now, writing got me through graduate school. That's more technical writing. Um, it's not fiction. And 2009, I did National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo.org. November is coming up, and hundreds of thousands of people around the world do National Novel Writing Month. We write 50,000 words in 30 days. That's 1,667 words a day. I've done it 8 years in a row, and I've won every time. Haven't always finished the book, but I've at least hit 50,000 words, usually more, closer to 60. But for me, that's not a complete novel. So then I finish it in December. Anyway, I wrote my first novel, and it was 110,000 words, and I wrote it in 21 days. So basically, I wrote more than 2 books in 1 month. And I had so much fun. And I thought, this is the greatest thing ever! Oh my gosh, I was so wrong. There were so many problems with that book. I didn't know anything about writing fiction. I didn't know about point of view. I had so many points of view. I had what they called head hopping. My characters, you'd go from one character's perspective to another's, to another, to another. So it took a while for me to finally understand what point of view is. It was not easy to get. And I don't know why. I just couldn't grasp that basically I needed to enter a scene or perceive a scene from that person's perspective. So I had to be that person. I needed to see what they saw. I needed to hear the words that and the tone of voice, and see the expressions on other people's faces, and sense the climate in the room, and smell everything that was going on around them, and the sounds, all of it, from their perspective. Which meant that sometimes they were going to make assumptions. Sometimes they might say things that are not right. But they would notice things about other people, and they would hear those conversations from the other person, but you would through the filter of their own ears. And every scene had to be from somebody's point of view. So I took a 110,000 word novel and I basically rewrote the whole thing. I threw out the entire first chapter, which somebody who had read it absolutely loved, but no, I had to throw it out. Because I didn't know about inciting incidents either, and you needed to start with some kind of a bang, not necessarily a gunshot, but some kind of a bang, something to draw the reader into the story. And I took out a plot line, I took out a character, and trimmed that book down from 110,000 words to about, 87,000 words. And I just learned so much, and I trimmed it down to, I think, 2, maybe 3 points of view are in that book only. And so it was quite the adventure. And when I read it recently for pre-release, it's coming out this November 2017. It was written in 2009, so it's been a long journey. I was kind of afraid to read it because I hadn't looked at it for quite a while. The publishing company got bought out, so there was a delay, and I'm fine with that. There was a lot going on, and I also trust that God's got a perfect timing for things. So I was a little hesitant to read it because I thought, I have worked on this book so many times. I have rewritten it, I have revised, I have edited, I have honed, I have polished. I am just sick of this book. However, I discovered that I really loved the book. I really loved my characters. I loved my story. And I'm really excited that The Virtuous Viscount will be coming out in November of 2017. Now, there is a prequel that I wrote for the series. This is called the Black Diamond Gothic Regency series. The prequel is called The Baron's Blunder, and it is currently for sale on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and other places. But, I'm just going to tell you a secret, okay? Don't buy my book. And here's why. Don't buy The Baron's Blunder. It's a fun story. It's a romp. It's a novella. It's fast-paced. It's kind of cheeky in some ways. It was a blast to write it. But here's why I do not want you to buy the book right now. When The Virtuous Viscount releases in November, we are going to be offering The Baron's Blunder for free. It's an ebook only, but we will be offering it for free. And I asked my editor-in-chief, I said, so how long will this book be for free? And she said, forever. Are you okay with that? I said, yes, I am. So The Baron's Blunder will come out for free in November. And then at the same time, the first full novel in the series, The Virtuous Viscount, will release, as will book 2, Lord Philip's Folly. And I think Lord Philip's Folly, or maybe those 2 books, I'm not sure, they might come out Cyber Monday. We'll see. I kind of tried to encourage my boss to, she's like, oh, we don't release books the day after Thanksgiving. And I said, why not? Everybody's out shopping. So Cyber Monday is when I'm hoping after Thanksgiving that these books will come out, and you can grab them. You can get the novella for free, and you can get the other novels, the other 2 novels in the series for free. Now, there's 3 more books that'll come out next year. There is Sir Michael's Mayhem, which really is a romp. And oh my goodness, I love that story. And then Lord Harrow's Heart, which is so sweet. Poor Theodore. He just goes through a horrible time. I'm so mean to my characters. And then there's The Captain's Conquest, which was a fun thing to write, because poor Jared, I mean, I just put this poor guy through the ringer, and I gave him a happily ever after. I give all my characters happily ever after. That's the fun part, and that's about the only thing I do know when I get into writing a book, is what the ending is going to be, that they will be happy. How they're going to get there, the journey they're going to take to get there, I don't know. But, because I know diddly squat about writing. I'm a pantster, I just write. And let the characters take me where they will. It's an adventure. Other things I didn't know about writing. I didn't know about show and tell. So it's like, yeah, I have to be in the character's head and perspective. And I have to try not to use words like see, hear, smell, taste, all that stuff. I want the reader to experience it as if they're there in that scene with them. The beauty of writing as opposed to seeing something on a screen is that you get to hear what the character's thinking and feeling, whereas on the screen the actor has to show those emotions and sensations in their facial expressions, in their physical actions. But when you're watching a character on the screen, you can't hear their heart beating faster. You can't feel the tremors in their leg when they're nervous or excited. You can't feel a lot of things that you can when you're reading a book and take that journey with your characters. And so anyway, I know diddly squat about writing. I know diddly squat about writing for movies. Absolutely. But I do know that I love my characters, and they are very real to me, even though they are truly fictional. And I didn't know, what else didn't I know? I didn't know about the backstory. That backstory needed to be kept kind of hidden a little bit more. And when I did The Virtuous Viscount and I did the revision, I actually cut out the entire first chapter of the book. And I dropped you into the middle of an exciting scene of adventure going on. because it's called an inciting incident. I didn't know what an exciting incident was. Inciting, not exciting, but it is supposed to be kind of exciting too. Although not every book starts out quite as exciting. But you want the reader to be intrigued, and you want them to care, and you want them to go along with you on the journey. So, those are my books for my Black Diamond Gothic Regency series. So now you have the scoop. Do not buy the Baron's Blunder until November. Okay? If you already bought it, I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed it. Write a review. Authors love that. Now I also have another series that I've written called the Orchard Hill series, and those are the books that are already released, or at least 5 of them have, and that includes Pesto and Potholes, which started as one book, and then a friend challenged me to write a second book called Salsa and Speed Bumps, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. Then I wrote Fed End Freeways about a musician, then I wrote Root Beer and Roadblocks about the cousin of the musician who was in the band because he had a roadblock in his life. And then I wrote Bratwurst and Bridges about a pastor who kind of weaves in and out of some of the stories. And then after that comes, for 2018, will come Donuts and Detours. There's a mechanic who shows up in book 5. So I give him his romance. Titus gets his love. And then there is Truffles and Traffic. And that again was something that I had somebody telling me, you need to write a book with truffles in the title. Come on, how much fun could that be? You can have truffles whenever you do a book signing. I like that idea, right? So I did Truffles and Traffic. And that one will come out next year, probably around November in 2018, which is perfect timing for the book. And that one features a Wisconsin State Patrol officer. So it's exciting to write a story. It's a her who is the Wisconsin State Patrol officer. Because I am a supporter of our police and our law enforcement and our military. And so I hope I do them justice and give them honor as I wrote that story. And so anyway, and then the one I want to write after that, the one I hope to write this year for 2019 is Deviled Eggs and Dead Ends. So I have to do some research for that one with a funeral director friend of mine. He said funeral directors are very romantic. I guess I'll find out, won't I? I told him not this week because I have a funeral to go to, so I'm a little busy. But I know diddly squat about writing. I obviously know a little something about titles because I seem to come up with some pretty fun ones. I do have a novella coming out this Christmas called Gabriel's Gift. That was written at the express desire of my editor-in-chief. It is a Regency, but it's a sweet Regency. It's not affiliated with my Black Diamond Gothic Regency series, which is more suspense and romance. This one's just a pure, sweet Regency romance. I hope I did Jane Austen proud. But I write in my own style. So maybe more Georgette Heyer. I don't know. I guess you'll have to read it and find out. But it's a sweet story. I know diddly squat about writing, and I still learn, and I learn from the authors that I edit, and I'm sometimes amazed at the amount of creativity that comes through in people's writing, and I'm sometimes amazed that I get to do this. I just can't believe that God has given me the words to put on the page, that He's given me these stories to tell. And my editor-in-chief said she doesn't listen to, doesn't look at numbers, like which books are selling the most. And I've never done that either with the writers that I work with, much less my own books. Because I've had people say, so is your book selling really well? I don't know. And yes, I do want to make money, but I don't write to make money. I write to make an impact in the lives of others. And I'm grateful that I work for an editor who believes that too, that even if only one book sold, if that book drew somebody closer to Christ or led them to Christ, then it was worth every inch and time of money and effort that went into putting it out there. Obviously, I would hope that God would bless my writing and that I would be able to make a living from it. That's not my reality at this point. But God is my faithful provider, and so I trust Him, and I'm grateful that He's given me the opportunity and the joy that I experience when I write. There's parts of writing that is really just hard work, and sometimes even the editing. But I love my characters and I love my stories, and that's what makes it a joy to spend time with them on the paper. When I finish a story, I never write the end, because I don't think it's the end for them. It's never the end. It's just one moment in time, and I think that's a more realistic thing, is that yes, I write happily ever afters, but a happily ever after really isn't forever. It's a moment in time, and the reader gets to leave feeling uplifted and encouraged and happy for just that moment, just like the characters in the story do, because we all have that, don't we? We have ups and downs in life, and we never know what's going to come next. And so we have to enjoy those happy moments and treasure them and savor that, because life is filled with the ups and downs. And when I end a story, it's on that beautiful moment that everything is good and well with their world. So I'm going to end now with my diddly squat about writing, and just wish you well. Blessings to you and your family. I just ask that you would continue to seek Him in whatever you're going to do in your life, because it's to Him we owe the honor and the glory, and it's only by His good pleasure that I get to do what I do, and I'm grateful, very, very grateful. Subscribe, tell somebody else about this if you find it interesting or exciting or fun, and if you want to check out my books, Susan M. Bagans. You can type it into Amazon, and you can go to my webpage, susanbaganz.com, and that's Baganz, and you can find my books there as well. And I hope you love them, and if you do, write a review. If you don't, just don't say anything at all, please. Have a great, great life.